Let's get this show on the road. You ready for this?
Let's do it.
Oh yeah! He's trying me! How you trying me? That's a touchdown.
Hi, and welcome to DD Live. I'm your host, the one and only Angel Camacho, and with my esteemed colleague who can't seem to get out of the news, Jose, the man, the Perra Guerra. Man, it's
What's up, Pip?
so great to see a smile on your face, man.
Yeah,
All,
I've been happy. I've been happy for the past week and a half, so
all this
ain't nothing gonna tear that apart.
all this adversity, all this turmoil, they can't wipe that. They can't wipe that smile off your face or that star off your back, huh?
Hey, that star is there for good, baby.
That star's there for good, ain't it not? Ain't it not? All right, so let's get started. We had a very short week three. Yeah, all these storms decided to put on a better performance than most of these captains and the DDPA. The rain was effective, got us out within a game. It was kind of fun to see the extracurricular activities. I thought we were gonna lose Peaky there for a second. Trying to do the Oklahoma drills.
Yeah, that was iffy. I saw the videos afterwards. That was a little,
Face
it was a
planted,
little.
he face planted on one of those, and it was like, you know what? Someone's gonna get hurt here. And I, as the adult, don't want to be part of it. So I'm just gonna walk in the opposite direction. It was kind of fun to see you had kids sliding everywhere. You had Kevin getting Paul driven by Peaky. Um,
Whoa,
it was no Diddy. No Diddy.
you gotta start with that.
Yeah, you have to. But yeah, it's pretty much there was more off the field than on the field, and that's what we're here to talk about this week. Because in the first slew of games, it just added insult to injury to the Niners. I think that's one of the biggest talking points in the week. Niners were up against the Raiders 3-1, and in typical Niners fashion this season, self-imploded. Something happened in Raiders camp where Al just locked in as the freak of nature that he is,
He is.
back to back, including an 8-second bomba to Marley to seal the 4-3 comeback. And you just kind of saw it in the body language. I know that Montano's been feeling hurt, and we'll get to what has transpired in the last hours or so here with DD and the transactions. But what do you think was the key point for the 49ers? Why couldn't they just get it going? Because it's not talent. They have the talent. That team is they have speed from top to bottom. They have players from top to bottom. I know we talked about Derek and his inability of being able to throw dots across the field. There was some video of that in the Raiders game that he was able to do it. Mind you, bad defensive play on a couple of those by the Raiders. But is it Derek? Is it the team? Is it the makeup? Was it
Um,
was it the curve on how these players were picked and what he was able to pick? We know how difficult
no,
it is for Montano, but
yeah. I
like
mean, I would say, kind of how I said previously that I like the Bengals, for example, as individuals, but I wasn't sure of them as a whole. And then obviously they're proving me wrong because they're putting it somewhat together, right? I kind of feel like the Niners are like that. Individually, you look at that team top to bottom, and they probably have, to be sure, they have a top half player in each tier, right? So eight and above, I would say. And man, I don't know. They just don't seem to put it together. I don't know if it's just, maybe they're not quote unquote Derek's guys, or Montano just maybe not meshing, being a little maybe too heavy, leaning too heavily on the offensive side. And then when that's struggling, obviously that kind of, bleeds into your defense and your effort on that side. And not just Montano. I feel like, just I guess as a collective unit, that would be really what I would say, was wrong with them. Obviously, like you said, they've made changes but I would say that that's kind of what the issue was. I feel like their offense maybe might have struggled, and it bled. It kind of trickled over to the defense and their effort because I do believe, like I said, to be sure they have at least a top 8 player in every tier, including Derek at quarterback.
Do they get better now with no Montano?
Remind me again, what was the final trade?
All right, so the 49ers. Okay, so so Montano's now with the Chargers. So he's the one that drops and that affects the Chargers. So here, these are the trades that have shooken up. So 49ers lose Juan Abbott, and this happens a couple weeks back, and they're able to pick up Danny Q. So
Yeah,
that's the
DQ.
first change that the 49ers do. Then there is the trading of Montano
And DQ
DQ to the Chargers for
for
Byron
Byron and
and
Kevin
Kevin
Garcia.
King. Correct.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say I like that team now. I would definitely say I liked it better before. Just, it didn't mesh. And maybe these guys mesh, but I definitely can't say, oh, I like this team better than the previous version. I definitely can't say that.
Right. I feel like they do get worse as much as you want to say that Montano could be a cancer. I feel like he got sold for peanuts, especially knowing now what transpired after the fact with the Chargers, which let's get to that. Chargers drop Montano. Montano, I did see him last night in red zone. He wasn't even playing in his second game. His back was hurting. He was saying that he wasn't feeling 100%. I don't know how much it's emotional abuse and physical abuse, and I don't like to see players drop, but Montano drops, and they bring in a great player in Chris Linares.
Yeah, I mean, I I would say that Chris right now in DD, although I think he's still a little raw, or not necessarily because of skill. I think maybe more mentality. I would say he's probably the most skilled receiver in DD.
Yeah.
You know, especially coming in at this part, and at this point in the season.
Would you take him over Ituri? Strictly wide receiver?
Strictly wide receiver. I've played with Chris. I've played with Lewis, so I think I can definitely speak to it. I think I'm still going Lewis.
Okay. And two-way player, still going Lewis, but you think right after Lewis, then it's going to be Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I think in terms of skill level, right? I just feel like Lewis obviously brings a little bit more to the table, and in terms of route running, Chris can definitely run some good routes. That's why I kind of mean like I think maybe he does a little too much dancing sometimes. So the timing might be thrown off. So I like the efficient route running that Lewis is, or that Lewis brings. So I think I would definitely pick Lewis right now. But I mean, I think if you're just going straight offense, it could be a toss up between both of them. It's just depending on the style of the play of the quarterback.
And now think of it. The Chargers, they're in the worst division. They're in the North. They only have the Redskins and the Bengals ahead of them. I feel that the Saints are going to be the runaway from this conference. Redskins again, they get another dub, solidifying, putting that week 1 way behind them. So you got Saints, Redskins, Bengals, which is incredible how Beaky just, he's thugging it out there and holding it with his guys. But the Chargers are right there underneath them. So the Chargers are literally a point from third and about
2 games back. 2 games back of the number 1 seed.
And 6 points from first.
Yeah.
The Chargers, if they put it together, they have enough players. I feel that they have enough players. It's all going to depend on, obviously, like always, quarterback play. Can Vinny pull it off? And there's 2 different Vinnies. There's travel Vinny, who plays, Top Gun and plays exceptional.
Yeah, but that's a complete different game. You know this.
And in DD, it's just a different Vinny. And I feel that he's having that wake-up call. But maybe getting a player like Chris that isn't your traditional DD player that's going to maybe come in with your mentality of playing, that out world travel ball. Will they be able to throw into double coverage, throw into, not do the DD play, not the conservative play, not the open man, not the matchup.
Yeah. I will say this.
I think that's what this move is about.
I would say the problem is they're going 5 hard this week.
Right.
Because Luis Fernandez is missing.
A lot of teams are. The Raiders are as well.
But the problem being is just now you're asking Chris his first week to go both ways.
5 hard.
5 hard. And an extra game. So you're playing 4 games. I don't know, man. I feel like if I was Vinny, I feel like I would maybe look to make a potential move for an available quarterback and, see how it goes like that. Maybe play a little bit more of the handoff game, not be able to use
Yeah,
his
but
talent.
you had that with Peter.
Yeah,
You had that with
but it
Peter.
just wasn't working for whatever reason, you know? Or maybe they just, I don't know. I mean, I really don't know why he made that trade initially. Um, because what did he get? He did Peter and who?
That was a couple trades back. Let me see right here.
He obviously got back Lewis. But I'm assuming, oh, he got back on Byron. So he did
Correct.
Peter and Justin, who missed week 2, I believe, for Lewis and Byron. And then he turned Byron into technically, I guess, Montano, which then became
Right.
Chris Linares.
Yeah, Lewis F and Byron for Peter D and Justin.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you go back and look at it like that, did he upgrade from Peter to Chris? I would say definitely so. And then I would definitely say he downgraded from Justin to DQ.
Right.
Um, you know, but and I feel like that's just on the eye of the eye of the beholder is this phrase
Right.
in terms of just, how do you value talent or what do you value more? Obviously, you and I are vets, and there's a lot of a big portion of the league that can attest to the fact that top heavy teams, and I can attest to it because I play with a top heavy team, has never won in DD. So that's it's a little iffy there for me.
Do we have any updates on Kukuyo's health? I feel like that's the question mark on that team. If he's healthy, that team hums. If he's not healthy, then that's just another
Yeah. I mean, I feel like this team is right now. This team is all offense. Not a definitely no defensive leader in my opinion, and no true rusher. So you're just hoping you got to score on every drive. Everyone's gonna get stopped. It happens. But you're just hoping you're gonna score on every drive because otherwise I don't see them getting a lot of stops or consistently getting stops.
Staying in the north. What the hell is Dario doing? I just like man. What like does Joan have a video of him like a compromising video of this kid for some like it doesn't matter if it's draft picks, if it's pre-draft, post-draft players, but like we got to make sure that he can't trade potential picks in the future.
Yeah.
Because he might trade next year's picks already to Joan during this.
I mean, it's a legacy. It's a legacy league. No, it's legacy. No, dynasty.
Does that does
I mean,
Joan tell him thank you come again?
It's pretty simple. He turned AJ and Izzy into Darren and Eddie. I don't see how that makes any sense at all. I love Darren. There's a
Not AJ.
very shifty, but he's not AJ.
And
Especially not on the defensive end.
Why'd you meet the cornerstone of your team, AJ, to only fight with him and then to ship him off and then get peanuts and improve the juggernaut
Nothing.
team?
Yeah, I mean,
you improved the juggernaut. You didn't improve your own team. You're
yeah.
the juggernaut. That's
And
incredible.
yeah, I mean, I really have no words for that scenario. Just because, again, I think at the end of the day, it's pretty simple. You turned AJ and Izzy into Darren, who no one here is gonna say he's better than AJ, especially on the defensive side, and Eddie or Izzy into Eddie. Eddie's good player, but he's right on par with Izzy. I really can't say one of them is more like astronomically better than the other. It might be a marginal increase at all, if at all. So I don't see it. I don't see it at all, honestly.
I think he sold Izzy and he sold AJ for peanuts. Not saying that these guys are peanuts, but he could have garnered more. At least based
and shoot, you make that trade. Granted, he made the trade with me to get Mark and A2, but after one game, you call it that's it. It didn't work. I'm like, okay, that's premature, ain't it? So I don't know. There might be something behind the curtain that we're not seeing.
Or is he just used to playing with his own guys?
But those are not his guys. He's never played with Eddie, and he says that he's played with Darren. But granted, I haven't been in red zone probably at least over a year now. but you probably can speak to this better. Is Darren out there that consistently? Like, I don't think so.
I, I,
So,
I think I've seen Darren reffing.
I mean, there kind of goes your answer. Like, those are not even his guys. I know his guys are Robinson and Peppers because he's made it abundantly clear that Robinson is untouchable. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a fan of that at all.
I'm looking at the North, and so we have Saints, Redskins, Bengals, Chargers, Niners, Cowboys, Eagles, Jets. I see the Eagles making a move, but I see the Cowboys plummeting, and it's going to be that toss up between who's going to get it right between the Niners and the Chargers. Which leaves us to the biggest question: the Jets, the lowly Jets, the 0-7 Jets. This is not your first time. This is not
the real life Jets.
This is not your first time. This is not your first time losing a captaincy mid-season.
Is it?
The Saints. You got stripped by the Saints, no? Last season, the power
No, I
strike.
think but I think I got traded and I was the captain there. I think I'm not
Right.
sure.
And then they were okay. So it wasn't from your original team. So you've never been stripped of your original team. So
No, I've been slayed twice in the same season.
but being in the same team, like the team that you
No, I got traded off. My team traded me away as the Saints, and then Peter and the Chiefs traded me back to the Saints.
Oh yeah. That season for me, I just
That season was foggy.
except that last week. Except that last week. It was foggy till it wasn't. But explain to me what happened.
I wish I could tell you. Um, certain people reached out to me, and I was legitimately getting off a plane when I got a text from people not even involved in my team that were like, "Yo, have you checked the chat? What the hell happened?" I was like, I don't know. You tell me." They're like, "You might want to go check the news chat." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. I guess this was an executive decision." Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, I wasn't here. I was out of the state. I was in a bachelor trip. I was enjoying myself. And I get off the plane and I get that text and then I check the chat and I was like, okay, cool. And I think last we spoke in our chat was sorry, I gotta scroll down. It's been a while. Um was actually Monday. I said, hey man, hey guys, obviously I know it's frustrating, but we played the best team and gave them the hardest game in my opinion, and the offense played iffy. I dropped the ball. I'm telling you, we got this. I feel good. We're gonna ball. Nothing else after that, and just
I don't think they think that you guys are going to bond, so they just wow.
I mean,
But what's your initial reaction? What's your initial reaction? You've played enough football, like I don't know. I feel.
I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
I feel butthurt.
I mean,
but to do
I'm
that
way
and not
past
trade
that, though.
to do that to you and not trade you and to now keep you there.
I mean, the fact I'm gonna be honest, the fact that it was, I guess that decision was made and I wasn't even made aware. I know last year when we did it in the Saints, we were like, hey guys, we're gonna go ahead. Look, I think we were trying to trade me or something, or me and Dusty, and I was like, hey, look, guys, it's very difficult to trade me like the captain. If you guys really think the best way to get it better is by not having me as captain, we vote as a team. We made Tony captain, and at the end of the day, he wasn't able to find a trade that he felt was made his team better. And therefore, no trades were made, but we voted as a team to make Tony captain. In this case, obviously that wasn't made aware to me. I guess it was just, I'm not gonna say it was done behind my back because it's not that big of a deal, but it was done without, I guess notifying me or even once they voted and they agreed to, they could have, I feel like everyone's supposed to do, be like, hey man, just heads up, you guys got traded. This is where you're going. Like I do. I feel like every time I trade somebody, um, and that wasn't communicated to me. So I mean, again, it's not that I'm entitled to have that communicated to me, or not that they have to communicate to me, but I found that a little strange. But I mean, again, like you said, why make that trade or why make that decision if you don't already have a trade lined up? Because that's the only reason why I would see you making that decision. It's you having a trade already lined up that maybe the team's not agreeing, and the simplest way to facilitate the trade is by making a certain person captain. And I mean, I don't know. All I will say is DDPA is not as clean as they claim to be. I have numerous text messages, of a certain trade, and I made my opinion very clear. I was like, hey, I'm not making that trade. I think we're getting worse as a team. I really do believe in the Jets. Like you said, we're 2 games out of the playoff.
Right.
And you look at this season, the Saints right now they're gonna be missing Ernie. Um, the Chargers are gonna be missing
Parody's,
Lewis.
Parody's coming. Parody's coming. Chargers are going to be missing Luis Fernandez. Saints are going to be missing Ernie, which we'll touch on after this.
Cowboys are the Cowboys. So, and I feel like we have a really good damn roster. With me being the bona fide tier 6, we have a bona fide tier 1 in AJ. We have, a very heavily, not a heavily IQ, but a person that's obviously Petey's, phenomenal. He's a great player, but he's also offers a lot in terms of IQ. Mike with his size. I feel like we had a really good roster. And I still do. That's obviously with me throwing, but I for whatever
Who knows
reason, I guess
now,
they don't.
Petey?
I would imagine so. Yeah. I mean, why make that change if again if you don't have a plan in place, why make that change? And again, I mean, I don't know. This notion that I've fallen off, yeah, it happened. I don't think I've fallen off. I don't think the reason we're losing is because of me. I think we're just week 1 we went 5 hard, lost every game. Week 2 we just didn't gel. We had, like I said, in the previous episode, we had pretty important drops. We had missed routes. We had missed throws. We had miscommunication on defense. I mean, you can see it. We've allowed 27 points. So it ain't like it's all on me. And I would honestly beg to differ. I would say it's none of it is not none of it because obviously I'm the quarterback, but the vast majority is not on me. It's on us as a collective. Because again, I feel like we haven't gotten enough stops on defense. We've had big drops. We've had big miscommunications in terms of route running, and we've also had big misses in terms of throws. I've missed throws. It is what it is. I feel like we could have beaten the Chiefs. I missed 2 first downs that would have, potentially been pretty big. Obviously, you don't know what happens in those drives, but again, they're entitled to their opinion.
What's your plan? Are you dropping?
No, why would I drop?
No, I have to ask. I have to ask.
No. I have no
Do you
intent
think
of dropping.
do you think this was done with like to humiliate you to make you drop because they couldn't be able to trade you?
But that's the thing though. Like,
I'm sorry. You're my boy. You're my friend. But I got to be cynical here, and I got to ask the question.
no. No. I get the question. My thing is just my point that I was gonna make is
When
I
something
don't have any value.
when something doesn't make any sense to me, then I got to think of, okay, what is the narrative? Like,
Agreed.
what is the game that you're playing here? Because you demote the guy, so you're expecting for him to show up 110% and be a professional. I thought
I
maybe
mean, I am because that has nothing to do with the type of person that I am.
and we
So that's not in
100%
question.
get that. But I just don't see how you help the team by making this move. Week 3 was just one game. You guys are 2 games out. I feel this was premature. You guys haven't played the best football, but you haven't played the worst football. You're in the worst division. There's a lot of turmoil that's about to happen in week 4 for this division itself. I feel like they jumped the gun because seeing what the end result is, where now what you're a center, you're a receiver, and then you're gonna have to be going both ways. I don't know. I don't see how that.
I agree. I don't know how. In this case, PD throwing to now the team and myself makes us better as opposed to me, the lesser athlete, I guess, out of everyone, throwing to the most athletic team, in my opinion, top to bottom. I don't get that. But I mean, hey, like I said, I'm gonna show up. I'm not gonna drop. But we'll go from there. We'll see what happens. I mean, obviously, PD's intentions or plans are to throw, but I don't know, anything of the game plan or what's. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
It's not like PD has been successful in DD either throwing. So that's why I don't like. I get it. I get it if it's like, all right, partner, take a back seat here. I've done this before. I'm a proven winner here in DD, but it's been pretty much the same. Like pick and choose whichever team that you want to see. Whether it be how many seasons
The
has we
Seahawks
trusted?
with
Yeah, the
Mark and
Seahawks. Yeah,
Pepito. Yeah,
yeah.
I think until last season it wasn't that Petey finally got, I don't want to say a win as a quarterback, but I I don't think is
Yeah, with the Packers, he did put a good run there towards the middle.
yeah,
Latter part of the season.
he made the playoffs. Yeah, he made the playoffs last season, but definitely until then he had never made the playoffs as a quarterback. I don't believe so. And I believe the
Love
season
his
he
new
played with
haircut though.
Mark,
I love his new haircut. Love the new haircut.
the rejuvenized PD.
Just an interesting take, and I just don't know. And like, and playing the position, having been a captain, you read the comments, you read what everyone puts on the chat, and it does take a toll. And whether you want to admit it or not, I'll say it does take a toll. Not to the point where you want to, commit suicide, but it does take a toll where it does dampen the mood. And we talked about this with Devin on the last show. Devin was one of those guys that reached out to me and be like, "Oh, this is part of the game. Look how many seasons it took me." I just think that everyone's very quick to find what is the narrative, what is the storyline for this breaking news. I will say this. You always struck me when I first came into DD. You always struck me as this guy that had a plan and that either you knew what was going to happen or you were the one that was making it happen. Whether it be drafting, whether it be trading, I feel that you always had a hand in everything. You knew what was happening and you kind of felt what you wanted to build and why you got the star. You're always knocking on the door and you got what you wanted and you got the star. I will say this. I do feel that after you've gotten the star, in that sense, you've dropped off, where you don't have the same grit and determination. Where I feel that maybe, and I get it that, as we play and the more seasons that go, it does take a toll and you kind of take a step back and you maybe don't have the same vigor as you initially did. But I could see that sometimes you do come off as a little too pragmatic, a little too nonchalant, where it is what it is. I did my best. I really would like to see how you rebound from this. I don't think it'll be this season. Maybe you get to jump onto another team. I just don't know what's going to happen with the Jets. I just don't see how you guys build from here. But I would love to see your rebound story, and I would like to see you go back to the perra that used to be. That don't talk to me. I'm drafting. I'm here. I'm trading this. Like, to be honest with you, the perra I knew, the original perra, he would have seen this crap coming. Like the fact that you got blindsided kind of maybe tells you that you're off your game there a little bit, Pim.
I mean, maybe, right? I'm not gonna fight that, maybe. But again, for all accounts, um, I felt like the team again, from talking to AJ, from talking to the team right after we played, I felt like hopes were up because again, we played
One
by
game,
far.
one
No,
game. Yeah.
number one, we played one game. By far, we played, and we played by far the best team. Um, and we give them a run for their money, man. We got, plenty of stops. PD was late, so the first drive, we play without PD, and that's something that is on me in terms of it's on me. It's also on the officiating. But primarily it's on me because I'm the captain and I'm the one that knows everything and should be controlling everything. But the Chiefs were allowed to free rotate that first drive with the notion that, oh, because PD's not here, they can. And that wasn't the case. It was like, hey, that PD's taking off the first drive. But, neither here nor there. I don't think that really affected the game that much. I think again, uh, on offense, we missed a few conversions that were obviously big, and that you don't know what could have happened after those. But the rain also came, and Lewis made a phenomenal catch, and Johan made a good throw, on the last play of the game. Given the circumstances, but I mean, yeah, I mean, did it? I wouldn't say that it catch me off guard, but like, am I maybe not as plugged in as I was before? Yeah, definitely. I can tell you that much. For a lack of a better expression, I definitely don't care as much as I did before in terms of devoting, quote unquote, my life to DD and being active in every chat. So like, no, man, we get older, we have other priorities, and that's just the truth. I'm not devoting my life to DD anymore. Uh, but I drafted like I felt was a good team. Obviously, it wasn't that way. Once the trade happened, I definitely felt really good about that team. And again, like you said, I think it's very premature to make the change after just one game, playing the best team, and not necessarily have a plan. At least on the surface, that's what it looks like. There's no real plan, because again, I feel like if you make that decision, is because you have a trade in place.
Right.
So, and here I am, it's Thursday afternoon and I'm still a Jet. So we'll see.
Okay. Now, the last bit of news for the North, and it was a hot topic in the chat, and it's been one that has come up and sort of, everyone has their way of handling it. The Saints have a peculiar situation with Ernie.
They don't. It's pretty simple to me, man. It's pretty simple. Until I was removed from the captain's chat. Sorry to cut you off, but I just feel like
Yeah,
it's not,
let's go, let's
you
go.
know, until I was removed from the captain's chat, it was pretty simple. Devin asked the captains that he's playing. Everybody said no. It's pretty simple. This notion that you have to let someone play because plans change. I've been on both sides of it. It ain't gonna happen, guys. It's pretty simple. If you don't know if you're gonna miss, just don't announce it and tell the quarterbacks that you wanna, quote unquote, prefer to go to or this or that, the other. And it is what it is because if you announce
You
it,
can't have it both ways. You can't have it both.
if you announce it, your
You take
stock
your
is
shot.
going to drop. Yeah,
Yeah.
your stock is going to drop in terms of the drafting. And now because plans change or whatever, you can't expect to be allowed to play. It is what it is. Obviously, I don't play them.
Historically,
It's always been the same.
you don't play.
And
Historically, you don't play.
and this notion that because it's been allowed here and there,
Listen, if anyone
Great.
if anyone really had a legitimate cause to complain, I think it was me. A couple seasons back, I was playing with the Bears.
Yeah, the Bears.
And we were 5 strong. We were down 5 strong. And Juju was declared to miss that week. It ends up happening that Juju doesn't miss the week, but then I have to miss because I had a family emergency and I couldn't even make it out to the game. So they forced the Bears to play either 4 strong or to pick up a tier 6. They did not even though captain said yes for Juju to play, Juju shows up and the guys there on the field like, no, our captain's not here today, and we just told you no. And so we got the Bears. That was horrific, and that's where I made the decision that if I was ever going to miss, a week or so, I would really think about twice about playing in the season because it's such a damning effect for the teams. It's like what you said. It's very, very plain Jane, very simple. If you declare, you're out. Doesn't matter. It's historically been like that.
You're out. There's a
I hate it when you bully. I hate it when you bully. I hate it when you name call, when you start calling somebody, they're not man enough, that they're scared. And
there's a direct correlation.
Man enough. You should have been smart enough and not declare.
Yeah, there's a direct correlation between players that announce they're missing a week and their draft stock dropping, as opposed to those that don't say anything and they're drafted what they're supposed to or even reached for. Look at Jordan. Jordan fell almost to the end of tier 1 because he announced he was missing a week.
Yep. And then imagine that he says he doesn't want to play week 1. Then what do you do there?
Imagine me. I didn't draft Ernie because he was missing week 4. Otherwise I draft Ernie.
Yeah. I get it. No, and I'm just saying it's historically been the case. Just because 1 or 2 teams are going to give you that exception. Hey, by all means, show up and try. But I, as a competitor, I would not, and especially in a division that close, you don't give anybody a pass like that. That's understood. And you know what? Everyone who said no, I commend you guys. Because the Saints are stacked regardless, bastards. All right, moving on to the South. So look at that beauty. 7-0, 21 perfection. The Chiefs. Can Joan do anything wrong? The man plays football great. The man trades great. The man is toxic in a great way. This is one of the best stories, man. This is one of the best stories because either he's gonna do it all, he's gonna get the star, he's gonna get the MVP, he's gonna get the records, he's gonna go man. I think our bet is looking strong. Our bet is looking strong. The under on the 2.5 losses. That's looking strong.
I will say this. I I think as of right now, and I think obviously, barring a huge drop off, which I don't think anyone foresees coming. John has the MVP locked up.
I don't think anyone
Steph.
else has, and nobody else has actually made the slightest of a performance.
No, I mean, again, the only person that you would think of right away, hey, they can actually compete with him in terms of going both ways, was potentially Poti. Obviously, get better, brother. He's out for the season. Um, Potentially Ant, you know, because of his defensive, capabilities, and Nico. But Nico's obviously out of it. He missed a week.
Right.
And I wouldn't necessarily count Ant completely out, but like, John has to be easily a minus like 1,000. And I would say the next closest person definitely has to be Ant. And that would probably be like a plus 3,500. um,
Right.
uh,
It's pretty egregious.
and Ant would have to go undefeated the rest of the season
Yeah.
with, insane stats. Um, because Joan, the ball goes his way a lot on defense. So that's why he's always leading in the top 10 in flag pulls, if not leading the league in flag pulls.
Do you want to know who's second place in point differential?
Who is second place?
Yeah. There's 4 teams tied for second place in terms of point differential.
I think it's the Seahawks, Vikings, Lions, and the Saints.
Yeah, they have four
Point.
points differential. Chiefs have 13.
Yeah, they've definitely separated themselves.
They're
There's
curb
no
stomping everyone and their mother.
Yeah, I mean, you go back and you look at their schedule. Let's look at it real quick.
Does Dario get a start too if the Chiefs win?
He definitely, I would imagine that was
at least John's picture. At least John's picture should go on the back of his jersey. Like John's MVP, John's MVP holding this, like John holding the MVP and holding a star should go on the back of Dario's jersey from now on.
That should definitely be part of should have been part or like a stipulation in the trade.
Because wow. All right. So that's the Chiefs just at the top.
Now, I mean, but
now it's compact. But then look at the next. Like this is not happening in the North. These teams are so much better on the South. And
yeah.
Like
but really quick on the Chiefs point, they curve stomped everybody week 1, 4-1, 4-1, and I think 4-3. But I mean, every other game has been 4-3 and 4-2. And at least I can speak to my game. My game was a close 4-2. So
we lost 4-3. I should have scored that game winner, but Al never saw me in the back of the end zone.
Bastard. So, they're definitely doing what they're supposed to. Obviously, they're winning. But like we said, hey man, anybody can win in a one game, in a 1-game scenario or
we've seen it. We've seen it play at times. Have amazing seasons, get to the playoffs, and then you just botch it. Understood. Now I'm becoming a little believer of the Seahawks.
No, I'm not a believer at all.
At all? Man, look, I don't think Stritt's got enough to win a star on his own. But I don't see the Seahawks dropping out of the playoffs. I think they're going to be one of the 6 teams. I don't think.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think they're going to stay at the 2 seed, but I think they'll drop. They're more of a 4 seed. I see the Ravens making a push. I really like them. I feel like they have a lot of talent and they got a lot of good football players. I feel they get it together, especially like on a big week coming up now where they have multiple games. They can make a run as well. But again, you have the Lions with Ant Hernandez. You got the Dolphins with David. You can't count them out. You got the Giants with Chris D and Jordan. And then you got the Raiders, who still have Al. And then now upgraded what the chat will tell you from Adrian to Ryan Zapata.
Yeah.
If you had to pick right now, what are the 2 teams that miss out?
Ooh, that's tough. I would oh man. I would definitely have to say the Giants would be one of them. Just because I'm not granted they're 1 game out of the playoff, so there is, take this with a grain of salt, but I would say the Giants because, Chris has a lot going on. And I feel like maybe
this guy showed up on Monday to Red Zone with the baby bag, not the football bag. He didn't have his cleats or his.
So, there you go. I feel like
Baby's beating him up.
Hey man, so
A dad life.
I can see that, happening and maybe Mookie showing up late again. You never know, right?
Right.
And then believe it or not, although I really like the pickup, it was kind of like Steelers esque back when Joan dropped and they picked up Lulu, I believe. Um, I like the Vikings with Javi at quarterback, and I obviously like the pickup of Danny, but I'm just not necessarily sold on Javi being able to to outlast a David, a Al led team. I just
You think
I
Vikings
would
Giants drop out?
I think I mean the Giants are out, but I think the Vikings drop out.
We got 2 weeks. We got 2 weeks and a lot of games. And I feel like this is more of the movie that everyone's looking at. How's the South going to play out? Because really in the North, it's a 2 team race, 3 team race. And then everyone else, like, are we going to play football? Are we not going to play football? The next 3 teams that decide to play football, they're going to make the playoffs. As we're in the South, everyone could be a playoff team.
Yeah, everyone has realistic
You
chances
get
of
some
making
of
the
these you
playoffs.
get some of these teams and you put any of these teams in the North, and most probably they'd be on the top of the North right now.
Well, and I wouldn't even say they have realistic chances of making it. I would say they have realistic chances of making a run in the playoff.
Okay.
Because again, and I don't even want to say excluding the Jets, but realistically, including the Jets, everyone in the North also has a chance. And not even just mathematically, but a realistic chance to make the playoff. It just kind of comes down to who has a realistic chance of making some noise. I think every team in the South is equipped to do so or could get on a heater and do that. Obviously, I can't say the same for the North.
Gotcha. Are we happy Pepito's back? Seahawks got an upgrade there. They got a nice rusher. God, man, I hate it when that guy rushes. He's so tall and
Yeah,
he's so handsome.
I hate him, bro. I hate him.
Not fair. It's not fair to be that old and to have like he has the Ricky Martin, like the little fleco, like
No, he has the perfect salt and pepper both in
every
his hair and
everything,
his
everything. It's
beard.
like it's like a Hispanic George Clooney that we have in DD. Like it's just not fair, man. I wish I age like that. Wish I could age like that. Glad to see one of the greats back with us. And that's what another reason why I like the Seahawks. I just feel like that they have enough guys, and even though Stritz may not be this guru with the rocket arm and this and that, it looks like a team that responds to him. They're playing for him. What we're expecting from other quarterbacks to do, Stritz is doing. Whether we want to say that Stritz is a great quarterback or not, he's doing a very good job. So kudos to the Seahawks on my behalf. Ravens are one of those teams that I'm curious to see what they're going to give us in week 4 with a larger sample size. Johan's moving different. They're 5-2, so it's not like they're playing bad football. I feel like those are one of those teams that take the step up this week, as where maybe we see other teams take a step back, but definitely the South is going to be the one with the movie unfolding for us to be able to
A lot of movement in the
see
South,
the
I would say.
see the playoff picture. Yeah, a lot of answers this weekend in terms of the playoff picture and defining. I don't think about MVP, but at least maybe best tiers. We can start talking about that because, like we said, it's gonna take something gargantuan because I just don't see how Joan doesn't stop stat padding. He's so good at it, and
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like now, if anything, I would say now, I think it's tier 4 or 5, maybe might have opened up because I would say obviously right now Eddie was the front runner, even with missing a week. But him going to the Cowboys, you're not sure how much volume he's going to be getting on offense, so he's going to have to make up a lot of it on defense, and I don't think he's going to be able to do that. So
okay. Well, that pretty much sums up a short week of football. The gossip, the trade rumors. I don't know about the people that are going to have to make moves. We don't even touch on that because again, this is one of those seasons where if it's not Joan and Dario, who's really trading? And what we've seen
it's
is that
hard
every trade that has been done has been a significant loss in one
in
direction
one way,
and a
at least
significant
in the
upgrade.
numbers, at
Right.
least for sure in the numbers, because it's very hard, to make a trade. I felt like at least a team, the initial trade of myself and Dario would have been somewhat even, but because we traded 3 for 6, but then obviously there was a huge gap in I think 40 something for 60 something, whatever is the end, and A2 were respectively.
So now we move on to our pick'ems of the week, and the slate is fresh and new. And first one, bright and early. Do you really think we're going to start at 7 in the morning? We always say,
No shot, no shot. We'll definitely start more around 7:30. But we'll see, man. We'll see. I hope not. I hope not. But I don't think we're gonna have the best of weather either.
that's going to be trash.
So,
Be trash.
and are we back at Continental? Yeah, right.
I
No,
have,
not Continental. Colonial, I believe.
I believe, yeah, we're at Colonial. But as always, gets announced Friday.
Yeah.
All right. First game, 7 a.m. Eagles Chiefs.
I mean, as it currently stands, there's no way I'm gonna pick
Against the Chiefs.
against the Chiefs, especially just because of how the Eagles are currently built. I just don't see how they can compete right now.
I got Chiefs 4-2.
Yeah, Chiefs 4-2.
Next game, Seahawks Saints. No Ernie.
No Ernie. I mean, it's gonna be hard, in my opinion, uh, to stop the Seahawks with the handoff game without Ernie, at least, pretending to rush or, playing the line. So I gotta go Seahawks, here for 4-2.
I'm still gonna go Saints. Georgie's still playing. Patterson is still playing. They're both alive. They know how to play football. Georgie could kill a rush. Patterson's gonna play in the secondary. They got good enough players, role players in Alabao.
No, they don't have Alabao. They have Devin, Jeremy, and Marzullo.
Yeah, Jeremy Marzullo. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking squad. It's just like automatically all the players populate into my brain. Marzullo, another favorite of mine in the lower tiers. They have enough depth in order to be able to compete with the Seahawks team. I think, Patterson and Georgie do enough, even without Ernie. Ernie puts that team over the top. I still take the Saints 4-3.
All right, I got Seahawks 4-2.
Okay. Moving on, Seahawks Chiefs, the big test for Stritz.
I mean,
how's this another curb stomp?
I got Chiefs 4-1.
I'm gonna give them 4-2. I'm gonna give them 4-2 because I've seen the Chiefs, if they have one downfall, miss flags sometimes. They miss flags sometimes.
And then if anything, I would say Seahawks, the first game of the day.
It's 8:30. It's 8:30 for them. I think it's their second game.
It's their second game. So I don't know. If it was the first game, I would say maybe a little bit more of a chance, because not a call out an individual person.
4-1, that's a lot. I'm gonna go 4-2 Chiefs.
I got 4-1 Chiefs.
And then the last one, the revamped Vikings against the Lions.
Man, that's a good game. That's a good game. Not knowing the certainty of a few players that may or may not play in this game,
cough up.
No, I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't. I'm not an insider like that. But I would definitely take I would take the Lions in this game. I feel like
who the hell's your friend on the Vikings that it's missing?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
But I feel like Gerson speed is going to bother Javi as him playing quarterback. And I think they obviously have, whether it's Joel or Andy to take away the handoff game with Danny. So I'm gonna go Lions.
I'm gonna go Lions as well. I think this is a big week for the Lions. I think it's a big week for Ant. I'm gonna go 4-3 Lions on this one.
I'm gonna go ugly game. Would this be the last game of the day?
Yes, it is.
So I'm definitely gonna go an ugly game. I'm gonna go 3-2 Lions.
Okay, that's solid. Moving on to our bold predictions. Don't be shy. Give me something. You had the one on week 1. You had the one on week 1. Week 2, week 3. That's a.
What no, week 2? What was it? What did I?
From 1 to 2, you called that they were going to go 3-0. the Redskins. But week 2 to 3, we just got the rain, so it was
Yeah. So that.
mute and point. I said
Um,
the Raiders are going to go 3-0. We want to know, but I'm not going to call that a dub.
Yeah. I mean, and I said the Seahawks 0-3 and they went 0-1. So
Hey.
nah, we
No, we're not.
we're not gonna do that. We're not
We
gonna
want
do
dubs.
that.
We want dubs where we can get it. We're not gonna take
Um,
cheap ones.
Man, this is a tough one. Because I just don't see anything that really stands out to me like that. So I feel like I have to like go out there and like search for it. Let me see. Oof. I'm gonna say bold prediction. Wow, this is gonna be really bold. Just because I truly have no idea what's going on. Let me see these people's schedule real quick. All right. I don't know how bold this is. But I'm gonna say bold prediction. The Lions go 4-0.
You know that I had the Lions 3-1 because I have us beating. I have us beating them, but I actually think that was gonna be my bold prediction at the end of this week. Lions were gonna be top 2 in the South. I have a lot of faith in having a great week. So let me pivot out of that. I'm just gonna put all the pressure on the Chiefs. I'm picking Chiefs going defeated this week. They don't get the loss this week. They play the Bengals. I mean, they play Eagles, Chiefs. I have the Chiefs. Seahawks, Chiefs. I got the Chiefs. Chiefs, Redskins. I got the Chiefs. Chiefs, Chargers. I got the Chiefs. 4-0, John. Chiefs. I feel a pattern, and I'm gonna continue to play that pattern. Remember when we just only talk about David? David was winning.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Peaky, and it was the Peaky show, and it was Peaky was only winning. When you kind of talk about somebody, it's because something's going right, and everything's going right for this guy, whether it's on the football field, on the WhatsApp chat, or on the trades.
Definitely on the trades.
So you know what? My bold prediction: 4-0 for the Chiefs. All pressure's on you, John. All the pressure's on you.
You definitely can't say we badmouth him anymore.
No, he can't. He can't. He's becoming a fan favorite. He's becoming a fan favorite of the show. We see the thing with John is that you don't like John when he's not playing football. It's like when he's just on the sideline talking trash. It's like, well, step inside the ring. Come playing. He's balling out. Can't be mad at the guy. When you write checks and they cash out.
Yep.
Checks are cashing until they bounce. We can't say anything bad about him. So DD Live has the full we're throwing all our support behind you, Joan. Hopefully we get you on the show this season.
You gotta win a star.
He's already been on the show.
Nope.
He's already been on the show. He's got to win a star to get back on. All right, guys. Well, it was a pleasant show to have you guys. Apologies for the late release. We want to thank all the other content creators for allowing us to finagle the schedule here. Obviously, my editing team want to thank Lazo for making the adjustments. Perra obviously making the sacrifice, recording from work. Obviously, travel got in the way this week, but as always, DD is life. We want to make sure that we get the content out for you guys and keep everyone posted on what the pulse for the league is. And hey, we have a big week ahead of us. There's a lot of games. Prove us wrong, prove us right. Let's go have fun. Let's go play some football. All right, guys.
Sure.
Have a great week.
All right, boys.
Peace.
Oh yeah! Yes! He's trying me! How you trying me?
That's a touchdown.